Hello everyone, today I'm in Pattaya, Thailand, which is well known for its beautiful sandy beaches, such as this one right here that I'm on now, as well as its vibrant nightlife and rather affordable cost of living, as well as its brothel industry. And yes, I did say that right. Pattaya has a rather large brothel industry. So if you are traveling from a country such as the United States where prostitution is illegal, you may be a little bit taken aback at first by everything that Pattaya has to offer. And as far as where I'm at now, the big prostitution centers or whatnot would be the infamous Walking Street, which is about maybe 4 or 5 blocks south down this road, and this is Beach Road, which is one of the major boulevards that runs, I believe, north and south in Pattaya. And then the other nearby brothel center would be the Soi 6 Street, which is about maybe a block up Beach Road here. And I will get to more on the brothel industry later on in this video. And here is a map of where Thailand is located in Southeast Asia, next to both Laos and Vietnam. And the city of Pattaya is located about 60 miles south of Bangkok in Thailand. Prior to the Vietnam War, Pattaya was probably better known as a sleepy fishing village. However, that all changed once the Vietnam War started, as Thailand was the closest U.S. ally in Southeast Asia, and some U.S. soldiers on leave began spending their rest and relaxation time in Pattaya, as well as other cities throughout the country. As the Vietnam War progressed, the U.S. began building air bases throughout Thailand, and at the peak of the war, the U.S. operated a total of 8 airfields in Thailand, with one of them being the airfield at U Tapeo, which is located just 10 miles south of Pattaya. And as airfields go, U Tapeo wasn't the run-of-the-mill U.S. airfield, as it was chosen as a base for the massive B-52 bombers, which would wreak untold death and destruction over North Vietnam. With such a high-profile air operation nearby, it is rather remarkable that the North Vietnamese were never able to successfully attack U Tapeo, and at the peak of the Vietnam War, nearly 5 dozen B-52s were stationed at the base, making U Tapeo the primary airfield for B-52 bombing missions. I guess you could say some of the reputation Pattaya has as a nightlife and brothel hotspot began with U Tapeo's being used as a U.S. military installation, with the bars and prostitution soon following. And now, over 70 years later, though the Vietnam War is long over, much of Pattaya's seedy side not only still remains, but the prostitution industry is said to now be one of the largest industries in the city, employing over 20,000 sex workers. However, instead of the clientele being U.S. military personnel, most visitors to Pattaya are now from neighboring countries such as Malaysia, China, and India, as well as Russia and South Korea, which round out the top 5 visiting nationalities. The U.S. is a few places further down the list and now ranks in 7th place. And getting back to the 27,000 sex workers who call Pattaya home, that is a figure from a British tabloid known as the Daily Mirror. In general, it probably isn't the best idea to rely on information published by tabloids, but in this situation, the information appears valid and may even be an understatement. Other sources, such as a social worker in Pattaya, was quoted as saying the figure of 27,000 is probably too low. Though no official sex registry exists to accurately count the total number of sex workers, so it's all just an estimate, but given the sheer number of bars and massage parlors, I would easily place the numbers in the thousands. But of course, that is only one side of Pattaya and Thailand in general. It's rather easy to avoid the bars, and if you just happen to walk down one of the wrong streets, the worst thing that has happened to me so far is the bar girls are over friendly and will try to be a bit pesty and say pinch you or do other annoying things, which certainly is nothing major. And it's not just because I'm walking around with a camera. This has even happened to me as just a regular pedestrian without a video recorder. So just be forewarned about that. And it might not even be the wrong street you're on, as the bars are quite spread out throughout the city. The best thing to do in such a situation, if you're simply not interested, is to just say hello and carry on with what you're doing. The bar girls are really harmless in general. And when I say bar girls, I at least think most are real women. What I mean by that is some bars here are what they call lady boy bars. And though I haven't seen any of those specifically, I have read that the number of transgenders in Thailand are quite high. And the thing about ladyboys are many dress like women and also even look like women, but are either still boys or have undergone a sex change. It's estimated that there are approximately 700,000 ladyboys throughout Thailand, and though this may not sound like a huge number for an entire country, the thing is ladyboys have been known to make up a disproportionate number of the sex workers in Thailand, so that is just something for men to keep in mind if you're visiting Thailand for that purpose. As you may be rather disappointed when you bring your new lady friend back to your hotel and you find out she is really a he. The internet has many such stories, and the best suggestion I can make is to avoid the whole bar scene entirely, as there are a lot of other things to do in Thailand. For example, I enjoyed visiting all the outdoor markets and found Thailand in general to be a bargain hunter's paradise. It's not unusual to find vendors selling, say, collared shirts or pants for $5 to $6 each or even less. However, as I'm rather tall, I did have a more difficult time finding pants that could fit me, but for shirts I did much better with. Also, most food here is much cheaper, with the exception of some dairy products such as milk. And what is surprising is though milk works out to about $6 per gallon, it's actually sold by the liter at about $1.50 per liter. Ice cream at Dairy Queen or in most convenience stores is comparatively cheap. A large ice cream cone at Dairy Queen was only 75 cents, and if you've been to a Dairy Queen in the US, you know they don't sell anything for 75 cents, not to mention a large cone of ice cream, so I have just been thrilled with all the deals that they have here. Also, other foods such as meats and poultry are much cheaper as well. I've been buying pre-cooked half chickens for only about $2 each. The only difference I can see from the poultry back home in the US is the chickens here appear to be quite a bit smaller. That could be a good thing, however, as that probably means the chickens are not being fed steroids to promote their growth, as I've always been rather surprised how big some of the chickens are back home. They are almost like small turkeys, and that just doesn't seem very natural. I would say overall food in Thailand is at least 30 to 40% cheaper at a supermarket and at restaurants, since I'm traveling from such a high cost of living market such as Las Vegas, where just a plain cheese pizza can cost $60 on Vegas Boulevard. The prices aren't even comparable. I can fairly easily make $60 last me all week here in Pattaya, and that's eating convenience store food. If I were to eat street foods, it would be even cheaper than that. But up until now, I've been mostly playing it safe and avoiding street foods and drinking only bottled water or bottled milk or juices, as I really don't have time to get sick here. And I think you are taking a little bit of a chance eating street foods, as I have seen many vendors with food that is just sitting out and not being chilled or heated. Yes, I know this can be done for a limited time and still be safe, but there doesn't appear to be any controls on how the food is prepared or stored, so I think you're taking a bit of a chance with a lot of the street foods. Maybe if I see a vendor selling something like corn on the cob, I will try that, but I've been rather hesitant with, say, the fish and other meats. And of course, this is all a personal preference. If you feel you have an ironclad stomach, then you will really like Pattaya, as there always seems to be street food vendors at almost every outdoor market, and the prices here are very cheap. You can easily have lunch or dinner for only $3 to $4 per person, or even less when buying from a street food vendor. And one other thing to keep in mind when looking for that perfect street food cart is once you're off the major streets such as Beach Road, it is very likely, unfortunately, that you will encounter a street such as this one without any sidewalks. And this was over by my hotel at the Holiday Inn, where it seemed like none of the side streets had sidewalks. What I would advise in this situation is to walk towards oncoming traffic so you can see what is coming and at least sort of be able to move out of the way. For example, if it's just someone on a moped, that's typically not a big deal, and there is usually plenty of room for both a moped and pedestrians. But if it's a car or large truck, I usually just stop and let them pass, as there usually is so little room. I don't think it's worth taking the chance of getting smushed between a large truck and, say, a parked car. This all is a rather large inconvenience, but getting into an accident, of course, would be even much worse. I also get the feeling that most of the locals in Pattaya don't walk very often and drive or motorbike everywhere. Also, don't expect cars or mopeds to stop even at a stop sign or stoplight. In the US, pedestrians have the right of way, and here in Thailand, even if a similar law is on the books, it doesn't appear to be enforced or simply isn't there to begin with. Either way, don't expect vehicle traffic to always stop. It's a bit third world, but that's just how it is. And one more thing to keep in mind is, depending on what time of year you visit Thailand, it can be very rainy. The rainy or monsoon season usually begins in May and lasts until November. And though it doesn't necessarily rain every day during the monsoon season, it's still a good idea to pack an umbrella, as afternoon showers are not unusual during this time of year. And if a typhoon, or what is left of a typhoon, is passing over Thailand, it can rain continuously for days at a time. And Pattaya and other parts of Thailand have been known to flood on quite a regular basis during this time, and I would try to avoid such areas in housing and hotels that have been flooded and might have mold as well. Public transportation in Pattaya, besides the usual taxi cabs such as that yellow vehicle next to the McDonald's, they have these what they call bot buses, and that would be the converted pickup directly in front of me with the roof over the back bed. And how it works is you just flag one of these bot buses down, let the driver know where you're going, and you just hop in the back. And it's called a bot bus because a typical ride is usually about maybe $1 or less if you're just going nearby, and you just hope that the driver gets you to where you need to go at the agreed upon price. I'm now at this rather interesting outdoor market that seems to be built around the aircraft directly ahead, and this is in between Soi 6 and Beach Roads, and they have a lot of fruit stands here, and just kind of looking for prices. I don't see, oh, here's some prices. These are like 200-300 baht for, looks like, coconuts. So that would be, that's kind of expensive for that. That's like $6-7. Some more fruits, grapes. No prices on these. Oh, here the coconut has prices, 300-400 baht. And then they also have these food stands as well. See, I'm kind of getting a little bit lost here. I think I'm in the back. Let's go over here. Here we go. Here's some food stands. And let's see, we got a seafood bucket, grilled prawns, grilled shrimp. I'm not seeing any prices on these. Oh, here's some. So 50 baht, 80 baht. So that's like $3. And then those are large plates of shrimp, 200 baht. Be like $6-7 for that. And here's more seafood. This looks like live seafood. Clams, perhaps. And these dishes are 50-60 baht each, so that's like $2. And this looks like insects, like crickets maybe. I think I'll skip that. Let's see. This looks like a chicken stand, chicken wings, 30 baht each. That's like $1 per wing. And here's some more seafood. Looks like 120 to 200 baht each. It's about $6-7. And here's this airplane. And this is actually pretty cool because it looks to be a real airplane. And here's the landing wheels. And this is all pretty neat. I kind of wonder if you can get inside of this. I don't see any stairway or whatnot. If they have a restaurant inside, I don't know, but it's pretty neat to have it just parked right here like this. And it looks like we are out of the food stalls. And they have clothing. This looks to be women's clothing. Pajamas, maybe $3 for a pair of pajamas. That's pretty cheap. Shirts, $3. Wow, this is some pretty cheap clothing. See if they have any men's clothing. Sandals. How much are a pair of sandals? Hello. No prices. I hate it when they don't put the prices on things. Here's more women's purse, 250 baht. So that'd be like $9 for that purse. And t-shirts and shirts. These are sale at 100 baht each. That might be for these shorts, maybe. That's a pretty good deal. That's only $3. More pajamas, $3 each. That's pretty cheap. Much cheaper than Walmart back home. And it looks like we're almost to the end of it. More shirts, 200 baht. That'd be like $6-7 for that shirt. Pajamas, $3. And we are at the end of the market, and here's a giant Ferris wheel, which is not in operation yet. Hello everyone. Today I'm at the Jam Tiem bus station, which is located right in this strip mall area here. And I want to say we're about 3 miles south of Pattaya. And this is where you would want to go if you want to take a bus to the Bangkok airport. They have these airport buses, and a one-way bus ticket is about 170 baht after all the taxes and fees, which comes out to about $5 US. And to get to this bus station, most people, they either take one of the bot buses, the converted pickup trucks, or they also have these taxi cabs as well. And there's a bot bus right there, that pickup truck. Anyhow, This seems to be a fairly busy bus station, as they have a bus leaving pretty much every hour on the hour, and they even have a bunch more of the airport buses parked further down the street. So this seems to be a pretty popular way for people to get to the Bangkok airport. And the airport is a little bit of a drive from Pattaya. It's actually about 60 miles. So a $5 bus ticket is a fairly good deal.